I'm sure, when Bitcoin was going up to its heights, there are a lot of funds that actually started up. Not a very good time to start in a way because they had to ride the crash lower. You are fortunate. You've been in business for a long time. Your return, I think, over time is what, 25,000% over your lifetime?
All? Yeah, that's all, Dan.
At the same time, the value of your fund, your cryptocurrency fund, was cut in half or so?
Yes.
Since the beginning of the year?
It's correlated with the markets.
So what are you seeing in terms of the industry overall? Has there been a shakeout in your space in terms of the funds that had opened up more recently?
It's so new. There's only a handful of funds that have been around for more than a year. And so you read that there's 200 hedge funds now, but I haven't met 200 different managers. I don't know if that really exists. I would imagine there'll be a big shakeout with the funds that most are long-only funds. That's very common. We have a long-short fund so that we can, weather downdrafts and, in fact, be up over the last 4 months when Bitcoin's gotten killed.
Right. So how are you positioning yourself right now? I mean, you obviously were talking about the chart in Bitcoin specifically, but in some of the other coins, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ripple, I mean, where do you see that going? How are you, where are you putting your money?
So in December, when the markets were going vertical, we did raise some cash so that if they crashed, we could be fully invested. We're now fully invested. I think this is a rare opportunity to get into something 65% below its highs. You don't get that opportunity very often. And we dynamically trade all the different currencies. There's about 60 that are liquid enough for us to trade. So, Bitcoin, Ripple, Zcash, things like that.
Hey, Dan, back in December, right before the top in Bitcoin, I heard you on CNBC.
Yep.
You said one of the things that's really attractive about digital assets is how they're not correlated to traditional investment assets. Since then, they've actually been pretty correlated. If you think about the run-up, I know Jeffrey Gundlach from DoubleLine has said, watch Bitcoin because that's going to tell you where stocks are going to go. That's really been the case since December. How do you feel about that right now?
Yes, there was a very coincident drop in the equity markets and Bitcoin. But statistically, it never got above 0.2 correlation between stocks and Bitcoin. And it's really true that Bitcoin's a $500 billion market that nobody owns. I mean, it really isn't owned by institutional investors. So when they have to sell equities to hedge whatever risks they have, they don't have any Bitcoin or crypto to sell. And that's one of its advantages.
All right, Dan, we're going to leave it there. Great to see you.
Great.
So, anyways, I think this is really interesting, what they were ending with. I've always thought that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies would be a hedge against the stock market. They would act different. And they did bring up a good point where the stock market does tend to follow, or at least recently. And they did mention it wasn't perfectly correlated, but it seemed like when Bitcoin went down, shortly after, obviously, the stock market went down. And the stock market, when it was very unstable, I didn't see any kind of rally in the cryptocurrency market, which is also interesting. So we'll see. Hopefully they will separate because I see myself investing in cryptocurrencies and precious metals and commodities like oil as a hedge against the over-leveraged stock market and the bond market that could collapse due to rising interest rates. So it's really interesting to see, but the main thing I want to end is, please, if you've been following this channel, I think we now cleared over 8,000 subscribers. So my main goal is to get you to buy some sort of crypto. So I don't know what % of people on this channel and who's watching what you own, but if you're one of the lurkers, I guess was the term, I would definitely get Robinhood. If you're going to make bigger purchases, get on Coinbase and invest some money, whether it's $10, $20, and obviously be prepared to put in more money because there could be obviously a dip. But I do believe his prediction he made previously on a previous video of $20,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. And hopefully if you're watching this video and you've watched all the craziness with crypto, I think if you've been following and you've been studying and you've been educating yourself, I think this is the time where you finally make your first buy. And if you don't do it now, that's fine. Continue to educate yourself, but be prepared, set up an account, and definitely get into this market because you got big hedge fund guys like him setting up custodianship accounts, and the money will pour in this market. So I'm very bullish on cryptocurrencies, and only time will tell. But we may not be out of the bear market yet. This could be just a temporary trap. So be careful, guys, and let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you guys soon.